In the 60s, as a teenager, a few mates and I built and sold micro mini bikes. Back then, we found most of the materials on hard waste collections and down the tip. After a few experiments, we found that we could cut down a bicycle frame so that we could fit a lawnmower engine in it. The tubing on one part of the frame was a sliding fit in or over another part of the frame. We bolted it together. Villiers engines were sought because they already had a drive sprocket attached for self-propelled mowers. We also used the chain and sprocket and fuel tank from mowers. They had no clutch. It was push and jump on to start and back off the throttle and use your shoes as brakes to stop. We made and sold about a dozen in a year and perhaps made $5 profit off each one. I moved on to old paddock bikes and now and again a road bike. Only a few were ever registered. Years later, after marriage, kids and house, I occasionally came across articles and videos about motorbikes. I began to develop an interest again. It started with making mini bikes and then go-karts for the kids and then buying dirt bikes. In 2016, I came across this article, an April 2015 Consumer Report on who makes the most reliable motorcycle. The Yamaha Roadstar were at the top of the ratings. I liked the look of the Roadliner in the Power Sports ad. I looked at some locally, then found one I liked up in Brisbane. It had 11,000 kilometres on it, and the guy agreed to take 10.5 for it. I flew to Brisbane and he picked me up from the airport. I had a test ride and was happy. I went over the service history and did a detailed inspection. Then I transferred the money to his account. He let me stay overnight, then I drove the bike back to Melbourne through nice weather, torrential downpours and freezing cold weather as I got near home in Melbourne. I got new handlebars and a crash bar for it. I made a slightly bigger windscreen for it and I rode it on day trips for a few years. A year ago, I started formulating plans to go on a long ride to Central Australia and back. I worked out the route where I'd stay day by day. I planned to travel around 400 kilometres a day. I added a bunch of foam padding under a sheepskin seat cover and I installed a USB charger and put the pannier bags on. To save money, I took a tent, sleeping bag and mattress and air pump. I also took a 10-litre jerry can with me and clothes and bathroom stuff and wet weather gear and tools for the bike. The jerry can and the bike cover went on in one pannier bag. The mattress and pump went in the other. I had a sissy bar bag that I put the bike-related stuff into. I borrowed a bag off the kids that I put my clothes and bathroom stuff in. This bag went behind me up against the front of the sissy bar and then squeezed the sleeping bag between the bag and myself and used it as a backrest. I started my ride on the 29th of April 2021.